Miller. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I go live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time to share with you some of the things that I'm working on. And today I have found your holiday card. If you are looking for a card that's simple, easy to reproduce, and to be able to make many, many, many of them, this is your card. So it's a card that design that actually we used in our Cards and Company class last night, and I've adapted it to make it a Christmas card, and that was a suggestion from one of the participants. So that was Susan. Thank you, Susan, and you'll see. I know you're going to watch today, so you will see it in action. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm featuring a whole bunch of things today, though, so I'm very excited about that. The first thing is, you've probably seen my posts about my paper share, and I'm featuring one of the one of the sets of paper, and it's called Whispering Woods. This is how I package my paper shares for each different paper. I have an insert that has a label with all the information on it, including all the colors that are in it. So this one's called Whispering Woods, and this is the paper that when you purchase it, a donation is made to a charity. So look for that. And all these papers are going to be available on September 1st, which is Tuesday. So timing is great. But if you don't want to purchase all of the different papers, you can purchase a sampler, which is what my paper share is all about. And information on that is on my blog and lots of other places. So this is the paper. You can see this particular design is a full sheet of 12 by 12 paper, and this is just 1/4 of it. So you can see you'll get 4 of these quarters, and for this paper, this is on the bottom and the top so that you can cut it in half and use it as an entire card front. And I have a card design with that you'll see in an upcoming video. But this is one of the sheets of paper. Here is another. So you can see that it's using lots of different blues and greens. This gorge, I love this paper, and that's what we're going to use today. This is the back side of that paper. And we have these. So you can see this paper can be, these two papers, actually the back side of these papers can certainly be used all year round. This one just reminds me of water. So, I'm sure I'm going to be using that if I have any left over, because the reverse side is this. So anyway, this is the paper that we're going to be using. So that's my little commercial about this paper. And I plan to buy tons and tons of it, which will make tons and tons of donations, but also give me gorgeous papers to work with. So that is the first thing. And then the second thing, we're going to use this embossing folder. And this embossing folder is available now. It's called Swirls of Magic. It was originally introduced as part of something for Halloween, but as you can see, it can be used for any time of year. It's definitely a party kind of theme, but then there are definitely places in here that look like sparkles or snowflakes, right? And we're gonna infer the snowflakes for this. And so let's go ahead and get started on our card, because I've teased you enough. So we're going to start with our piece of shaded spruce cardstock. We're going to give it a nice fold, and you would normally crease it with a nice bone folder, but I'm not. And then we're going to take some white cardstock and use it as an insert. Unbelievably, I went through everything several times here. Here they are. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, just too many things on the desk. And we have our white for the inside of the card. Now you are going to want to have white on the inside, unless you want to write with a white gel pen, something like that, in order to be able to see what you're writing. But I also want to mention we have our paper sale going on today through the end of the month, and shaded spruce is one of those colors that's on sale. So if you're looking again to make your own, if you decide to make this as your holiday card, you're going to want to grab your shaded spruce cardstock now. Okay, so what I did is I took another piece of that white willow paper, and I put it through our embossing folder, and you can see just how gorgeous that is. And whenever I use something that's embossed, I like to use wet glue to put on to attach it, and that's so that it gets into all those little nooks and crannies, and it gives it a better seal. You notice that I don't use a ton, right? I just use a very thin line, and I go kind of all the way around, not too close to the edge because I don't want it to seep out. But here we go, we've got that, and we're going to give that a second to set. Then what I did was I took my borrowed set of party banners. Banners are very, very popular right now for home decor and lots of other things, but this set, it is a little pricey, so it would be an investment on your part, but you could see how many different sizes of these there are and so many things that you can make with it. The other thing is if you wanted to do it yourself without using the dies, you could do that. You could take a rectangle of paper and then just flag one end of it with your scissors. But obviously using a die makes it easier, and it makes it consistent, and it makes it nice. So if you have the opportunity to get them, I highly recommend it. And you'll see there's so many different sizes, and for this card I used these two right here. So you can see they nest into one another, and you'll see that when I show it to you in 1 second. So this set of dies is currently available. So something that you could grab with your shaded spruce cardstock if you wanted to, and it would put you over the $75 limit, which gets you the product of the month. So many things in this video, right? I don't have the product of the month in front of me to show you this time, but you can look that up on my website. So next I'm taking, actually, I took that larger banner, and look what I did. I created a banner with shaded spruce that I'm going to put on my card, but I also wanted a small banner made with shaded spruce. And I went ahead, and because we're going to be covering this all up, I went ahead and cut out that small banner right from the center of the big banner. So we have that. And again, because I'm attaching it to something that is textured or embossed, I'm using my wet adhesive. Okay, put that on there, turn it over, add that to the card, and that's just a little paper saving tip. And you see I'm putting it off to the left side just a little bit. Then I took the smaller banner and I die cut those trees. Remember I showed you from the Whispering Woods? I just love this page from it. This was the side that had the reverse side as water. And I cut out this banner, and you can see that it's going to fit right in there. And I'm going to use regular Stampin' Seal for this because I avoid wet whenever I can, but there are definite uses for wet adhesive. And we saw that just a few minutes ago. It's always best if when you're doing something that's supposed to be straight that you actually get it straight. I noticed I did not, so that's the other good thing about using wet adhesive when you can, because it is repositionable for a short amount of time. Then I'm going to take this banner and I am going to lay it down here. Now when I do this, I'm only putting some adhesive on the left side of the banner, and I'm putting that down there. So next we need to stamp a little label, and guess what that label is? It is just one of the little tiny banners, and I'll show that to you. All right, we're going to have to grab one and cut it because I thought I did it, but I don't see it. So I'm going to use the tiniest banner. That's the one in the center here, and I'm just going to send it through with a piece of white Willow cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and add that, and I'm sending it through my machine offline here, just because it'll shake the table if I don't. Oh my gosh! And let's do that again. All right. So what you're looking at, though, is the stamp set that I used, and this is a preview. This stamp set will be available on September 1st as well. Check out that Mary, and look at the dies on this. Look at this. I bought this specifically for this wreath, and this oval, they go together, and you put that Merry Christmas in the middle, and oh my goodness, you're done. But what I did is I just used it this time for this card, just for the love and joy, because I needed something that fit right into this little banner, and that happened to work for this card. So again, that bundle will be available on September 1st. I'm going to grab my shaded spruce ink, and I took that love and joy. I'm going to ink that up, put that on here. You could put it on an angle if you wanted to, but I'm just going to put it straight like that. And I'm just going to adhere this to this banner, but I'm not going to do it in the usual way because they are the same size. I don't know if you noticed that, but these are the same size. But I wanted it to stand out a little bit, so what I'm going to do is just offset it just the tiniest bit so that the love and joy stands out above the trees. Okay, so this card is lovely the way it is, and we have one more thing that we're going to add because we always need a little bling. These are adhesive back snowflakes, and again, this is a preview coming on Tuesday, and check these out. Oops, better to look at them this way. You can see you get Secret Sea snowflakes, and you get these gorgeous clear white ones, or clear, they're not white, and they sparkle, and they are just so pretty. So we're going to use our Take Your Pick tool, and we're going to add our requisite 3 little gems. That's how I roll. You can of course add as many or as few as you want. I'm going to use a big one and a small one over there, and then I'm going to add one more below. I'm going to add it right here, I think. And there we have our visual triangle with our gems, and here is our card. So you saw just how quickly we made this, and of course the party banner dies make it so easy in order to be able to do this, but you could of course do it without it. The embossing folder really helps make everything pull together and make it festive, and of course those little gems. Now let me just show you. So this card is the one that I made for today. This card is the card that we made last night. One of the reasons we made it is because this designer series paper called Lovely Blossoms is part of the DSP and cardstock sale. So this is also on sale. And then for my seniors last week, I had a class and we used some retired paper, but I don't mind showing you, and they just loved how simple and how elegant the card came out. I just love anytime you pair Pretty Peacock with anything, it looks great. Pretty Peacock could also go with this instead of shaded spruce if you liked, right? That would work with this paper, or Secret Sea, whatever. So there you can see there are lots of things that you can do with this particular card design just by switching out. All I switched out was the card stock and the designer series paper. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But this is a simple card. I'm going to be making lots of these, and this may be one of the cards, likely one of the cards, featured in my Ultimate Christmas Card class, which I am announcing the details of later this week. So look for that on social media and in my newsletter next week. And I'll be here if you need anything. So feel free to get in touch. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.